Once upon a time, in a land far away, there was a charming village nestled at the foot of the Emerald Mountains. This village, known as Diamond Village, was famous for its lush green meadows, clear streams, and colorful flowers, embodying all the beauty of nature. The people who lived here enjoyed the bounties that nature provided. In this village lived a young boy named Arda. He was 11 years old and had an insatiable curiosity for adventure and exploration. Every night before bed, his grandfather, Ahmet Didi, would tell him tales of wonder and bravery. These stories fueled Arda's imagination and encouraged him to pursue unknown lands and hidden treasures. One day, Ahmet Didi gave Arda a very old map. This map pointed to a hidden treasure deep within the Emerald Mountains. This treasure was a magical emerald that could only be found by someone brave and pure of heart. The emerald was said to bring eternal prosperity and happiness to the village. That night, Arda dreamed of walking at the foot of the Emerald Mountains. In his dream, he ran along paths through enormous trees, listening to the chirping of birds under a bright blue sky. Suddenly, he came across a cave that shone brightly. At the entrance of the cave was a large door with an inscription in ancient writing, "Enter with a heart of courage and goodness." When he woke up, Arda believed the dream was a sign. He rushed to tell his grandfather about the dream. Seeing the determination in Arda's eyes, Ahmet Didi knew that Arda was ready for this adventure. He gave Arda a few essential items for the journey: a compass, a water flask, a bag of food, and most importantly, an old sword that he had kept for years. Before leaving the village, Arda said goodbye to his family and told his friends about the adventure he was about to embark on. They wished him luck and reminded him to be careful. Finally, Arda set off towards the Emerald Mountains. The journey was filled with adventures and challenges. On the first day, as Arda passed through dense forests, the sunlight filtering through the trees lit his way. He befriended the animals he met in the depths of the forest, who helped him stay on the right path. One night, he set up camp in a clearing illuminated by fireflies and slept under the stars. On the second day, Arda passed through a valley filled with rivers and waterfalls. The water was so clear that he could see the fish swimming in the river. During his journey, he found an injured bird by the river and healed it. The bird, in gratitude, guided him and protected him from dangerous cliffs. On the third day of the journey, Arda reached the foot of the Emerald Mountains. The mountains towered before him, impressing him with their grandeur. However, there was no fear in Arda's heart. He began to climb the mountains with determination. As he approached the summit, the air grew colder and the wind became stronger. But Arda continued on, clutching the sword his grandfather had given him. After a while, Arda reached the entrance of the cave he had seen in his dream. The door of the cave was just as it had been in the dream. The inscription above it gave Arda courage. He took a deep breath and opened the door. Inside, the cave was filled with emeralds. However, in the center of the cave stood a massive emerald, glowing brightly. This was the treasure Arda had been searching for. But reaching the emerald was not going to be easy. Inside the cave, there were a series of challenges that would test Arda's courage and goodness. The first challenge was a labyrinth made of enormous stones. Using his compass, Arda found the right path and navigated through the labyrinth. The second challenge was a dark passage. At the end of the passage, a dragon blocked Arda's path. The dragon posed a riddle that Arda solved with his wit, allowing him to pass. The final challenge was a narrow bridge at the edge of a cliff. Arda crossed the bridge with courage and finally reached the emerald. When he touched the emerald, it began to glow and emitted a magical light that enveloped him and promised eternal happiness and prosperity for his village. When Arda returned to the village, he was greeted as a hero. His grandfather, Ahmet Didi, was proud of his achievement and thanked the entire village for their support. Arda was happy to have uncovered the secret of the Emerald Mountains and ensured the prosperity of his village. From that day on, Diamond Village lived in perpetual happiness. Arda's adventure became a legend passed down through generations, proving that courage and goodness always triumph. After Arda brought the emerald to the village, Diamond Village indeed thrived in prosperity and happiness. The emerald was placed on a pedestal in the center of the village, and every morning it would glow with the first light, bringing hope and peace to the villagers. However, these peaceful days did not last long. One day, the village's wisest person, Aunt Zeynep, noticed that the power of the emerald was diminishing. Aunt Zeynep had spent years studying ancient books and learning old wisdom to serve her village. She immediately informed Ahmet Didi about this. Ahmet Didi called Arda and told him that the weakening power of the emerald had a significant meaning. This shows that the true power of the emerald will only reveal itself when used correctly, said Ahmet Didi. Arda pondered over his grandfather's words. He wondered what he needed to do to unleash the emerald's full power. That night, Arda again dreamed of the Emerald Mountains. This time, in his dream, he was returning to the cave where the emerald shone. Deep within the cave, he saw a door he hadn't noticed before. The door bore another inscription: "To find true power, open your heart and soul." Arda understood that this dream was a sign. The next morning, he shared his dream with Aunt Zeynep and Ahmet Didi. They agreed that the dream should be taken seriously and suggested that Arda return to the Emerald Mountains. This time, Arda took his friends Melis and F with him. Melis was one of the smartest and most curious girls in the village. F was a brave and strong boy. The three friends decided to embark on this new adventure together. The journey was more challenging this time. The paths of the Emerald Mountains were more rugged and dangerous than before. But Arda, Melis, and F overcame the difficulties by supporting each other. During their journey, the bird Arda had helped reappear and guided them. Thanks to the bird's guidance, they avoided dangerous traps and found the right path. When they finally reached the cave again, Arda found the door he had seen in his dream. He read the inscription on the door again and thought about opening his heart and soul. When they opened the door, they found a narrow corridor leading to a large room. In the center of the room stood an even larger and brighter version of the emerald. However, to enter the room, they had to pass a series of tests. The first test was about friendship and cooperation. The three friends passed this test by trusting and supporting each other. The second test was about knowledge and intelligence. Thanks to Melissa's intelligence, they solved difficult riddles and passed the second test. The third and final test was about courage and purity of heart. With F's bravery and Arda's goodness of heart, they successfully completed this test as well. When they reached the large emerald in the center of the room, it began to glow at their touch. This time, the emerald not only brought prosperity and happiness to their village but also spread peace and harmony throughout the world. The true power of the emerald lay in the unity of friendship, knowledge, courage, and goodness. When Arda, Malice, and F returned to their village, they were met with great joy. The villagers celebrated their great achievement and honored them for making Diamond Village a symbol of peace and harmony worldwide. Aunt Zainab and Ahmet Didi praised Arda and his friends and promised to tell their story to future generations. And so, the adventure of Arda and his friends in the Emerald Mountains continued to be told as a tale that changed not just their village but the entire world. Everyone learned from this story that a heart full of courage, friendship, and goodness could overcome any obstacle. Diamond Village, thanks to the brave journey and sacrifices of Arda, Malice, and F, became a land of eternal peace and happiness. The emerald continued to shine in the center of the village, inspiring everyone. The friendship of Arda, Malice, and F grew stronger over time, and their story remained a legend, reminding future generations of the importance of being brave and kind-hearted. Would you please like the video and subscribe to my channel?